Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance, saving, and investing. My videos are kind of awesome, if I do say so myself. It's been a while since I've done a personal finance video. I've been really busy with clients' work for like the past 3 months, but thank God most of that is behind me now and I can face doing this stuff, which I love so much. I really did miss you guys. Anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 2021 investment portfolio in terms of where I put my money in 2021. I'll also be talking about the lessons I learned along the way, surprising things I learned along the way, and how I'm going to do things differently in terms of my investing strategy for 2022. There's so much value to share, and I think it's a good place to start will be for you guys to like this video by clicking on the like button. I really have missed asking you guys to like my videos, so please guys, just click on the like button. You know where it is, just underneath the video. And if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe as well by clicking on the red subscribe button. Now, the first segment in my portfolio that I'll be looking at is a segment where I invested the least amount of money in 2021, and that is cryptocurrency, coming in at 0.61%. Funny enough, the first time I invested in cryptocurrency was actually in 2021, in February, in fact, and the week where the Central Bank of Nigeria prohibited commercial banks from facilitating cryptocurrency transactions. I made a video on it. You can click the card in the corner of the screen to check that out. So it was that same week that I made my very first investment in cryptocurrency. And I didn't do that many more transactions or investments in cryptocurrency throughout 2021 because it just became so much harder to invest in cryptocurrency because of the CBN prohibition. So that, I think that was a mistake on my part. I should have done a lot more cryptocurrency investments. And thank God for this exercise, because without this exercise, I wouldn't have known I invested so little in cryptocurrency in 2021, if that makes sense. And seeing this, it was definitely a mistake on my part. I should have done more. And going into 2022, I will seek to do somewhere between 5 and 10% of my investment portfolio in cryptocurrency and digital assets. Now, the second segment in my portfolio where I invested money is Nigerian stocks, and this constitutes 1.41% of my portfolio. Now, I didn't go into 2021 really planning to invest in Nigerian stocks. It just happened kind of indirectly, mainly because I have a referral code with Trove. I've done a few videos on Trove, the app where you can buy stocks in the Nigerian Stock Exchange and foreign stock markets. And if you use my referral code, both you and I get a free Dangote Sugar or GTCO stock. So by virtue of that referral system, I got a whole bunch of GTCO shares and Dangote Sugar shares. So yeah, that's how I got those stocks. And also in the end of, towards the end of 2021, late November, early December, as some of you know, MTN had a public offer. I was interested in that, so I bought some MTN shares as well. So basically, the three companies that I invested in via the Nigerian Stock Exchange, indirectly and directly in 2021, were GTCO, Dangote Sugar, and MTN. Now, the third segment in my 2021 portfolio is mutual funds, and I have 10.6% of my 2021 portfolio and the money I put in that portfolio essentially in mutual funds. I started investing way back in 2006, and the first investment I made was in, I think, an equity mutual fund with Stanbic IBTC. I made a video about that, card in the corner of the screen. And I haven't done that many more mutual funds investments in recent years because I learned about so many other types of investments and I wanted to branch out into those ones. I kind of neglected mutual funds for the longest time, but in the middle of 2021, I got back into mutual funds and I invested, I think I picked like 3 or 4 companies, and I invested in their bond fund, their money market fund, their equity fund, and their guaranteed fund. And I'm actually going to do a video very soon on how those mutual funds performed. Look out for that video. It should be coming out very soon, probably within a month. But it was interesting just trying to do that, and it will be interesting to see how those mutual funds have performed. Mutual funds are, a good entry point for beginner investors because mutual funds are investments that are professionally managed by, professionals and people who went to school for this stuff and who watch your investments and make sure that they grow over a period of time. The only downside is that you're paying for those professional services. But mutual funds, they're fun, they tend to be safe, and it was just nice, getting back into mutual funds in 2021. Will I be doing more mutual funds in 2022? I don't know. It's not at the top of my list. Things will be different in 2022 for me in terms of my investing strategy, but more on that at the end of the video. Now, the fourth segment in my 2021 investment portfolio, one which consumed 12.46% of my funds, is high interest savings accounts. Think things like, PiggyVest and Cowrywise and different savings accounts like that take your money and give you high interest on your savings. I think PiggyVest, there are different products. The per annum interest rate on their products range from between 6% to like 13%, which isn't too bad. But I tend to feel like, if I were to take that money and put it in crypto or in the US stock market or in Agritech, they'd do a whole lot better in terms of returns than these high interest savings accounts. But to be honest, high interest savings accounts, they do serve their purpose. It's a good place to keep your emergency funds. It's a good place to do like a target savings thing. If you're saving for like a car or a holiday, high interest savings accounts are good for those type of things. I mean, especially if you're someone like me. But hey, so that's where 12.46% of my invested funds in 2021 went to high interest savings accounts. Now, the fifth segment in my portfolio is US stocks, which accounted for 26.13% of all my invested funds in 2021. This came to me as quite a surprise because I really did prioritize investing in the US stock market in 2021. Every month, I had a certain amount of money that I was going to invest in the US stock market, and I stuck to it all throughout the year. And I thought, that it would account for a whole lot more in terms of percentage in my portfolio than this 26.13%, which is just about a quarter of my portfolio. In 2021, I really wanted to prioritize dollar-denominated assets and investments more than naira-denominated ones, right? So that I went in with that goal, and coming out of it, I'm surprised to see that only a quarter of my investments were like in dollar-denominated, well, in the US stock market, so to speak. Looking back and having done this analysis, I understand why. And when I look at the final segment in my portfolio, you understand why I didn't do as much in terms of US stock investing as I thought I did. There were 10 stocks. My strategy in 2021 was to invest in the same 10 companies every single month. I did a video on that. You can click the card in the corner of the screen to check that out. But in 2022, there's definitely room for improvement. I want at least 50% of my 2022 portfolio to be in dollar or pound or euro denominated assets and stocks. Basically, anything with a stronger currency, right? 50% of my portfolio should be in that. But yeah, you get the picture. Now let's move on to the final segment in my 2021 portfolio. Now, the final segment in my 2021 investment portfolio, one which consumed a whopping 48.78% of all my invested funds in 2021, is Agritech investments. This was a bit of a surprise. I didn't plan to invest almost half of my entire 2021 portfolio in Agritech products, but upon analyzing it, it kind of made sense. I understood why. It's because the Agritech products tend to be, the per unit cost of each investment tends to be so high. For example, agro partnerships, their products or a unit of their investment tends to start from like 90,000 naira and above. And when you're doing multiples of that, multiple units, you're looking at large sums. So it's because of that a lot of my money went into Agritech in 2021. And the only two companies I think I invested in 2021 in the Agritech space were Agro Partnerships and Farm Sponsor. Incidentally, and for many of you who are familiar with those companies, you will know that those companies had some serious controversy in 2021 in terms of not being able to pay back their investors. Starting with Farm Sponsor, I invested in their agro estate much earlier in 2021. At some point in 2021, they announced that they're unable to pay back their investors both their profit or their principal, their capital. It became a whole thing, a serious controversy, a serious back and forth. serious contention between investors and the company. It's still unfolding. My money is still with them. I haven't gotten my principal back or my profits. The agro estate investment was meant to start returning profits from, I think, the final quarter of 2021. It hadn't, or it didn't, and they sent an email to that effect. Some people had the option to, sign out of the entire investment and to get their money back. Lots of other people are still waiting for their money. I'm one of them. So that was very unfortunate. This was a company that myself and lots of other, in fact, my siblings as well, and lots of other people I know had lots of faith in, but they disappointed. I think they got greedy, and now lots of people's money are yet to be paid back. So that's farm sponsor. And then there's agro partnerships. This one particularly hurt me because I always felt like agro partnerships was like the last hope, that they had all the integrity in the world, that they would never default. But in, I think December, just a few weeks ago, they had a product or an investment that was meant to mature in December, but the date came and people didn't get their money. Now, that's one thing. It's another thing for the company, i.e. agro partnerships, to not inform people and to communicate to them that, look, you were meant to get some money on this date. It's not coming. Please give us some time. They didn't do that. It's until after that date and people started complaining and things got really hot. People were emailing, calling, visiting their office, threatening all kinds of things before they found, before they thought it right to communicate with investors and tell them what was going on and tell them that they wouldn't be getting their money. And they now gave a new date of, I think, April or something. Some people actually got their money. I think they paid into my wallets, but I haven't withdrawn it yet. But they paid after the date, of when that investment was meant to be due. The point of all this, or the point that I'm trying to make, is these agri-tech companies, I can't really now name one that hasn't defaulted. Maybe Farm Crowdy. I don't know if I haven't heard of Farm Crowdy defaulting, but all the others that I've done some kind of business with, one way or the other, have defaulted on, their promise to pay back people's funds or their profit. And it's just very disappointing. It's very painful. And as my investments show, I had confidence in these companies with my money to the tune of almost 50% of my entire investment portfolio. But it's very unfortunate. This could be a whole other video on its own, talking about how these agri-tech companies have let their investors down. But I'll just end it here. You get the point. Those of you who have invested with agro partnerships or farm sponsor, you're aware. I think agro partnerships is trying to make amends, trying to sort things out. I believe they ultimately will. But that trust is gone. Lots of people have lost confidence in agro partnerships, and once they get the chance to liquidate their holdings or their investments with agro partnerships, they'll probably liquidate and they'll leave the company and never turn back. And I think then it will be apparent to agro partnerships how much they dropped the ball. I really do wish Farm Sponsor 2 gets their act together. But essentially, losing my voice here, that's where 48.78% of my invested funds in 2021 went to Agritech. Now, going into 2022, what is going to change? What am I going to do differently? I think in 2022, I'm going to take more risks than I did in 2021 in terms of my investing. I think in 2021, my objective was really capital preservation. But in 2022, I want more of capital growth and maybe income generation. So I'm going to also prioritize, like I said earlier, cryptocurrency and digital assets. In 2022, I want to do somewhere between 5 and 10% of all my investing in 2022 in cryptocurrency. I also want at least 50% of my portfolio to be to be denominated in dollars or pounds or euros, basically stronger currencies, because we're going into 2022 with an dollar exchange rate of, I think, black market rate, right, of around 570 naira or 580 naira to the dollar. By the end of 2022, it could be maybe 600 and something, and if that happens, naira-based investments will suffer. They will lose value, but dollar-based investments will gain value. So I think my objective is to do more, at least 50% of my entire 2022 investing portfolio of, in dollars, essentially, or in dollar denominated or dollar based assets. This could be in the US stock market, or it could be in euro bonds or any other dollar denominated investment. And then real estate. I don't know if 2022 is the year for me for real estate investing. I've been making inquiries. I talked to a friend of mine, I think last week, about, investing along the Epe or Ibejuleki area of Lagos. I was in that area about a month ago for client work. You can hardly go wrong with real estate investing, and I think 2022 or 2023 will be the year that I will pull the trigger on investing in real estate somehow. But yeah, that's how I plan to do things differently in 2022. What do you guys think? How do you guys think you'll be investing in 2022? Will it be more of the same, or will you try new things? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're yet to start investing, there's mutual funds, there's the US stock market, there's all kinds of things. You can pace yourself. You can start with as little as 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira a month and take it from there. Don't be intimidated by people like me or other people who have been investing for a while, or who have been putting lots of money into the stock market or into investing, to think that that's the way you have to do it. No, you can move at your own pace. Also, forgive me for not highlighting or mentioning the actual figures that I invested in my 2021 portfolio. It's just not safe to do so anywhere in the world, to be telling people, how much you've put and where you've put that money as well. So bear that in mind and bear with me. Sorry that I couldn't share those numbers with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it by clicking on the like button. I'd really appreciate it. And feel free to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. I wish everyone a fantastic and profitable 2022. I can't wait to come back at the end of 2022 and share with you guys how I performed in 2022 with my investment strategy. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be lots of growth and lots of profit in 2022. Not just for me, but for all of us. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.